The bell above the coffee door jingled gently, as it always did. Morning light poured through the large windows of Sunny Lane Café, a modest little diner nestled between an old bookstore and a dry cleaner in a sleepy corner of downtown Columbus, Ohio. The smell of brewed coffee, crisp bacon, and cinnamon rolls clung to the air like a warm blanket. It was a place where the regulars had their booths, where the waitresses knew your order before you even spoke, and where the world still moved a little slower. Eliza Monroe, 27 years old, single mother of a 6-year-old boy named Eli, had been working at Sunny Lane for nearly 3 years. She wore her red polo and white apron like armor. Her short curly hair was always neatly tucked under her chef's cap, and she carried herself with a quiet resilience that came from surviving more than most of her age had ever to. That Thursday morning was no different, or so it seemed. At exactly 9:13 a.m., the front door opened again. An old man walked in. He was tall, but walked with a light limp. His bomber jacket, weather-worn and patched, still bore the faded emblem of the U.S. Air Force. His skin was pale but tanned by years under the sun, and his eyes, those blue eyes, held stories. Eliza noticed him instantly. Something about the way he paused at the entrance, scanning the cafe like he was remembering something that had happened long ago, tugged at her. He walked to the counter and took a seat at the very end, the corner seat, the one that gave him a full view of both the kitchen and the exit. She approached him with a gentle smile. "Morning, sir. Coffee to start?" He nodded. "Please. Black." She poured it from the pot she always carried and set it down before him. "Food?" she asked, still studying him. There was kindness in his tired smile. "I don't have money," he said, lowering his voice. "I just wanted to sit for a while and get warm." Eliza's heart twisted. She had seen people in hard times. She had been one of them once. She glanced back at her manager, Ronald Kerr, who was busy talking on the phone in his office. Then she looked at the old man again. "Well," she said softly, "we are famous for our buttermilk pancakes, and veterans eat free today." His eyes lit up, even though they both knew there weren't such a discount. "You're sure?" She nodded. "What's your name, sweetheart?" he asked, voice who asked. "Eliza. And yours?" "Names?" "Walter Gunness. Used to fly choppers. Vietnam." "You've even earned more than pancakes, Walter." Eliza served him a full breakfast. Pancakes, scrambled eggs, turkey bacon, and hash brown, and even refilled his coffee twice. Walter thanked her with every bite, tears welling up in his eyes at one point. It wasn't just food, it was dignity. But trouble was brewing. Ronald Kerr had stepped out of his office and was watching from the far end of the counter. He was a man in his 50s, bowed, impatient, always wearing a suit 2 sizes too tight for the heat of the kitchen. He was known for one thing: rules. As Walter finished his last bite, Ronald stormed towards Eliza. "Eliza," he snapped, "who's paying for that meal?" She stiffened. "He's veteran. He's—" "I didn't ask you that. Who is paying?" "I am," she whispered. "I will cover it. Just take it from my shift." Ronald turned to Walter. "Sir, did you tell her you couldn't pay?" Walter slowly rose, standing taller now despite the limp. "I'm not here to steal food, son." She offered it. "I was just sitting down." "That's not the policy here. We are a business, not a soup kitchen." Ronald barked. Eliza stepped between them. "He's not a criminal. He served this country. You serve him food without permission. You're done here." A gasp echoed from a few nearby tables. Ronald, you're fired. Eliza, pack your things. You said, yes. The audience and the silence in the cafe was deafening after Ronald's words. A fork clinked against a plate in the background, and someone muttered, "Unbelievable," under their breath. Eliza stood still, heart racing. Fired? For showing kindness? Walter looked down, ashamed. "I didn't mean to cause trouble." "You didn't," Eliza said firmly, touching his arm gently. "You did nothing wrong." But Ronald was already waving his hand. "You've got 5 minutes to get out, or I'm calling the cops myself." Eliza turned and walked towards the back room, shaking with a mixture of humiliation and anger. Her co-workers exchanged stunned glances, but no one said anything. Fear of Ronald's wrath was stronger than their desire to intervene. Walter followed her slowly. "I will speak to him. Tell him it was my fault." "No," she said, wiping the tears with the back of her hand. "That man wouldn't understand compassion if it bit him in the throat." She took off her apron, folded it neatly, and grabbed her phone. "I'm not ashamed. I'm not staying quiet." Just outside the cafe, Walter stopped her. "You didn't just give me a meal, Eliza. You reminded me what being human feels like." She made a smile through her tears. "You deserve a whole lot more than that." They shook hands, and she turned to leave. But a storm was about to brew. That night, after putting her son to bed, Eliza posted on social media a photo of the cafe, a few lines about water, and the truth. "Today, I got fired for feeding a veteran who couldn't afford breakfast. His name was Walter. He flew helicopters in Vietnam. He just wanted the warmth and kindness, so I gave him both, and I lost my job for it." She went to bed without checking the reactions. By morning, her phone was on fire. Notification buzzed like an alarm. Hundreds, then thousands of shares, messages from strangers, comments filled with outrage and praises. Veterans group reposted it. Local news stations reached out. Then national ones, CNN, Fox, ABC. And then came the call from the Columbus Police Department at 8:32 a.m. the next day, as Ronald was preparing the morning shift in a new unusual empty cafe. Most staff had called out sick. The bell above the door rang louder than usual. In walked 5 uniformed U.S. police officers, all in full dress, not riot gear, not undercover. Their badges gleamed in the sunlight. Everyone in the cafe froze. Ronald looked up, confused. "Can I help you, officer?" The man in front, Officer Bradley Monroe, stepped forward. "Yes, we're here to speak to you about the dismissal of a woman named Eliza Monroe." "I didn't break the law," Ronald said, trying to chuckle. "She gave out free food against company policy." Officer Monroe's face stayed firm. "We are not here for an arrest. We are here for clarity and justice." Ronald narrowed his eyes. "Excuse me?" Another officer stepped forward. Captain Rhonda Jeffries, a well-decorated black female officer from downtown. "Walter Gaines is a known and highly decorated veteran. He's also one of us, one of our mentors, one of our heroes." "You fired someone," added Officer Monroe, "for treating the man with dignity. Now the public knows, and so do we." Ronald opened his mouth, then closed it, then opened it again. "What is this? An ambush?" "No," Captain Jeffries said. "This is not an ambush. It is a wake-up call." And then the cafe door opened again to reveal new cameras waiting outside. Would She said, "Yes, outside Sunny Lane Cafe." The sidewalk was jammed with reporters, microphones, and flashing cameras. Words like "hero waitress," "veteran scandals," and "viral kindness" dominated the chai rooms. Eliza, still in her modest hoodie and jeans, arrived holding her son's Eli's hand. She hadn't expected this many people. A local veteran support group had reached out earlier, urging her to come and witness something important. When she saw the five officers standing like a protective wall inside the cafe, she paused. "Mommy," Eli whispered, "are they gonna arrest you?" She crouched beside him and smiled. "No, baby, they're here to do something good." With a breath, she stepped through the crowd. Reporters swarmed her. "Eliza, how does it feel to be called a hero? Did you know the man was a veteran when you served him? What would you say to your former boss right now?" She waved gently, not speaking. Inside, Ronald's face turned crimson. He looked like a man under siege, and he was. Officer Monroe turned to face her and nodded with respect. "Eliza Monroe, I believe you dropped something," he said, holding up a red and white apron here. "Hers? But I was fired." Captain Jeffries smiled. "Not anymore." From the back of the crowd, a familiar voice called out, "I told you, she was the real deal." All heads turned as Walter Guinness entered, dressed in his Crips uniform jacket, clean, dressed, full of medals. He walked straighter today, his eyes brighter. A hush fell. Walter stood beside Eliza. "I flew helicopter in a war most people forgot. I saw things no man should see. But yesterday I saw something good." He looked at Ronald, then at the cameras. "This woman didn't serve me food. She saved me and respect me." The crowd erupted in applause. Even some of the cafes, usually customers clapped from their seats. Walter continued, "She reminded me why I fought, not for policies, not for bottom lines, but for kindness, freedom, humanity." Eliza stood in stern silence. All of this for a simple act of feeding someone? That's when Officer Monroe stepped forward again. "The Columbus Police Department would like to make an offer." She blinked. "What kind of offer?" "We run a community cafe at our outreach center, a place where officers and civilians eat side by side. Veterans, kids, seniors, all welcome. It's unstaffed. It needs heart." He paused, then smiled. "And we would like you to run it." Gasp rippled through the crowd. Ronald sputtered. "He's not qualified for." "She's more qualified than anyone you've got in this building." Captain Jeffries snapped. "She's got integrity, compassion, and a moral compass." Walter looked at Eliza. "Take it, girl. You're meant for more than pancakes and pay cuts." Tears filled her eyes. She bent down to whisper to Eli, "Mommy just got a new job." "You said?" The cafe in the Columbus Police Community Outreach Center didn't look like much when Eliza first arrived. Four mismatched tables, a single broken espresso machine, and a cracked menu board with faded chalk. But it had something Sonny Lane didn't have: a mission. And that mission grew. The place was renamed The Heart. It wasn't just a cafe. It became a symbol, a crossroad between law enforcement and the police, a space for understanding, healing, and breaking bread together. Walter Guinness was the first customer. On opening day, he brought 6 other veterans with him, all wearing their old caps and proud grins. They sat shoulder to shoulder with off